Welcome, everybody, to BIZ NCAA Football Week number 7. Great to have you all with me today. Friday afternoon, getting us out a little later than I wanted to. Just kind of tidying up the playlist. Had to send this production out to my sound engineer. Got to get the music together for this. Got a few new wrinkles this week. A couple new additions to the presentation. Looking forward to a great week. It is another great day here in the Bay, Northern California, East Bay, mid-70s. No wind, not a whole lot of clouds. Still have power. Those bastards at PG&E haven't cut my shit off yet. They better not. As much as they charge for electricity around here. At least we don't have those wildfires that they have down in Southern California. Man, what a disaster that is for those poor people. Joe Satrion is kicking us off today. I needed a jolt. I needed some music to get me going. I'm excited about this week's playlist. Last week we finally got a winning week. Wasn't a huge winning week, but we did have a positive record last week. That's a nice start after that 4-week down stretch we had. Really going over the plays a little more, not just firing on everything that pops up. Crossing with the models, checking it out, just looking a little bit deeper in the game, looking at some bad data, just looking at some stats, trying to tighten it up. We don't need 39 plays a day. Listen to this guy. Joe's excited. Listen to this guy go off on the guitar. As I said, looking forward to this week. I think we're on to some good things here. Got some nice plays this week. Got a best bet. Just one best bet this week. It's a Stewie Biz combo best bet. Of course, we've got the Florida Pete Biz combo play that just was a no doubt winner last week. That beautiful Texas Tech double-digit dog outright winner. Chop the best bets. Utah State just abysmal. Got a stinker of the week. Whenever I have a team that's just awful, we call it our stinker of the week. My sound engineer put some music behind that also. So we have a stinker of the week this week. A couple weeks on the NFL, we had the Raiders with a stinker of the week. They won outright as a dog. Of course, some of my stinkers perform like that, like the Browns last Monday and the Bengals the Monday before that, the NFL picks. I did put some plays out on Twitter earlier this week. I hope you got them. Lines have moved. You check my Twitter. There's been a couple plays where the line moved. So, as I always suggest, check my Twitter. I'm sure all of you follow the NFL, and I put out a best bet for Cleveland for Monday. And as I looked at that game further after I put the presentation out, I looked at the bets, and the market was just screaming to play San Francisco. It was just so obvious, and so I went on Twitter, since I had it as a 2-unit play. I'm like, let me just make it a 1-unit play. And I commented on Twitter that I hated that play, but I left it out there. And in hindsight, I should have just canceled the bet altogether. But it's just an example of checking Twitter. I get these plays out, a day before the NFL, a couple days before, and sometimes things change after I get this out. So if you're not following me on Twitter, please do. You'll get some updates. For instance, I put out the Chargers earlier this week at -6 on the NFL. And a couple days later, Mike Pouncey, the Chargers center, is declared out, I believe maybe for the season. That's a huge difference. I hate when teams lose their center. So I went ahead and canceled that play. Told you to take Pittsburgh +7 and to cancel that play. So follow me on Twitter and get those updates. So Joe's done. I wanted to stretch that out so we could get Joe entirely in there. Again, welcome all of you. We're going to have a great NCAA football week. I could feel it. And last week was a slight winner. So let's get into last week's results. Here you go, 6-5. Scratched out around a half a unit. Yeah, you're not going to go buy a new car with those profits, but when you look at the fact that we were having a 4-week downstretch, any kind of positive turnaround is something to note. So 6-5, 0.4, half a unit-ish. Utah State kicked us off with a nice 2-unit loser right off the top. It's always nice to be in the hole 2 units to start your day, but then we had a nice stretch there. Texas Tech, the BIZ Pete combo play, outright winner. Florida catching a field goal at home, outright winner. Notice these dogs are just winning outright. Navy get 3.5, outright winner. What a great game that was. They were controlling that game the entire way, and then in the fourth quarter, Air Force threw a couple touchdowns up there. Then they're driving. It's like, just hold them to a field goal to cover, and then Air Force scores a touchdown with 2-3 minutes left to go up by 5 or whatever the hell it was. They weren't covering anymore. And you're like, great, these guys can't throw the fucking ball. How are they going to go down the field in 3 minutes and score? Well, they did, and they scored with a minute to go, 30 seconds, maybe 30 seconds to go to get us a great cover. Nice win. Baylor, Kansas State under was a no doubt under, and then in the second half they started to score a little bit, and that game was actually in danger of not staying under, which would have made me break something, but it did. Baylor dominated Kansas State. And if Pete hadn't have talked me off of Baylor, we would have had that as a winner too. But we didn't. Georgia Tech, they tried against North Carolina. That was that system where you're playing against a team that lost a ball-busting game against a ranked opponent. And they couldn't quite get it done. Arizona, a nice best bet winner, catching 4 outright. Notice all 5 of those dogs won the game outright, or 4 dogs. Eastern Michigan, that brilliant market play that Pete came up with, got trounced. That game, that line really tanked at the end, and so I'm probably going to just put those on the back burner, or have people monitor those lines. When that line went the other way, and my boy Mike up in Michigan alerted me of that too, I saw it. I'm like, that's not good. They got trounced. Speaking of getting trounced, Vanderbilt, these guys getting 7, just never, they lost 31-6, never in the game. SMU laying 13, they won in overtime. They were never really close to covering that game either. So it was a really disappointing stretch there. We were 5-2 for the day. And we caught 3 losers in a row. None of them were really going to win. And then we ended with Liberty. Nice win, lane 4. A 20-13 win. So we had a little bit of joy in the beginning of the day. A little bit of pain later in the day. For those of you listening to the music now, a little Frankie Beverly and Mays. This dude can sing a little bit. A little Joy in Pain. It's a great song. Great band. 6-5. We picked up half a unit. So, like I said, it wasn't earth-shatteringly great, but it is in the green. It was a profit. We didn't lose. And we move on. I think we're on to some good things moving forward the second half of the season. Of course, the bowls are, down the road. Those of you that have been with me for a while know that we really do well on those bowls, especially the sides. So don't fret, everybody. Hopefully we could keep this going in the right direction. So that is the review. Now we have some plays coming up. I do not have a large playlist again, but college football, we do have a decent sized list. And let's get on with this week's plays. All right, Frankie Beverly, thank you very much, sir. Let's get on with some plays. All right, this game is tonight. This game is Friday night, and I posted this on Twitter earlier in the week. I think this line is -2.5, -130-ish on the money line. I'd just rather take the money line here. We have a couple of assistants. We're fading a team that was previously undefeated, and they just got whipped. Virginia is that team that triggers it. Miami, Florida is playing at home against Virginia. Virginia was undefeated. They're riding high. They go to Notre Dame, and they lose by about 17 points. This spot is horrible for these teams. As you can see the record right there. Let me drink some real quick. They're 14-75 in this spot. Horrible. That's one spot. The other one is we're playing a home favorite. Their last 3 games, they've had a negative ATS average. So the last 3 games they've averaged not covering. On average, they have not covered the line. And they're playing a ranked team today. When the team we are playing on, which is Miami, Florida, when that team is unranked, their record is 30-13 in this spot. Okay, so real simple. A home favorite that hasn't covered lately on average. Last 3 games not covered. You're playing a ranked opponent. So you haven't covered, you're playing a team that's ranked, yet you're the favorite. So the market's telling you this team is not what you might think they are. Unranked is 30-13. I love that part. If you look at the bet numbers at the bottom of the screen there with the arrows, you see that Virginia has 67% of the bets, but Miami's getting 59% of the money. Nice bet split there in favor of the Canes. And you see that line went from -1.5 to -2.5. That is great line movement, great bet splits, combined with the 2 systems. I took Miami, Florida -125. If they win by 1 or 2, I don't want to lose. I'll pay the extra juice. I'll pay an extra dime or 2 to just take them on the money line. We're going to take Miami of Florida tonight. That's a Friday night game. It's 5 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock on the East. And we're going to take the Canes, especially off of I think they lost last week to Virginia Tech at home. So you got a team that didn't look. I mean, they got kind of whipped that game too. Virginia Tech just jumped on them. So you got a team that looked kind of like shit last week. They're unranked, playing a team against Virginia. They're riding high. They're ranked, yet the team that looked like shit last week at home is favored, and they're unranked. We'll take in the Canes -125 on the money line. All right, we'll get right to the stinker of the week. I'm trying to do these in the order that the games are being played. So Miami is tonight. I'm not going to put that at the end of the presentation. They're playing tonight. I believe Bowling Green is a 9 o'clock game. So I'm trying to put these games in the order that they're being played throughout the week. So Bowling Green is getting 27.5 against Toledo. They are at home. Excuse me. And so there are 2 games that really qualify for the system. And what it is, it's game 6 of the season. And the team is not covered the last 4 or 5 games in a row. So they're not covering. It's game 6. And like I said last week, nobody wants to bet on a team that can't cover. They just don't. So we're playing a team that hasn't covered recently. In the little box down here are some of the parameters to this spot. The team they're playing did not lose by 3 or more touchdowns, so they didn't get blown out. The team they're playing did not get blown out. The team they're playing is not undefeated. We don't want them to play an undefeated team. I put a little Pythagorean adjustment in there, which accounts for your win-loss record with regards to how many points you've scored and how many points you've allowed. Now, teams that got the shit bit of them last week lost by 3 more touchdowns. They're 13-0 in this spot. Bowling Green I believe it was 2 weeks ago. I think they had a bye week. They got blown out on national TV to Notre Dame. Everybody saw that. We had Bowling Green earlier this year. I think they played Kansas State. And they got the shit beat out of them in that game too. I think that was 52-0 also. So we're playing a team that just is garbage. Just straight garbage. Rutgers also qualified, but they're on the road. And Bowling Green's at home. I'd much rather take a team at home in this spot. They're at home. They had a week off. They're getting almost 4 touchdowns. I really debated on whether or not to play them, but I decided to go ahead and play them. And so Bowling Green's our stinker of the week. I'll be impressed if somebody could tell me the music here. My sound engineer will do the presentation. Threw up some Pink Floyd. It's called Pigs. Pink Floyd is a band all band knows what Pink Floyd is. I hope you do. Dark Side of the Moon, one of the great albums of all time. That's an album we listen to hundreds of times. And Pink Floyd's probably, if you like to smoke a little cannabis, they're the top 3 band of all time to listen to when you're smoking a little weed, a little cannabis. Some of you might think you must have smoked some weed before you gave this play out. No, I didn't. I'm not under the influence. I do not have a vodka straight today. No splash, no time, no vodka. I just have some water. So I'm not loaded, not drunk. My mind is right. I made this play on Bowling Green with a clear head. So we're going to take Bowling Green, getting 27.5 at home against Toledo. And we're going to pray that they don't once again get curb stomped. Have a little pride. Have a little dignity. I don't know if it's homecoming. I don't know. I didn't check. I don't care. Have a reason to compete this week. Bowling Green, the Falcons. Let somebody come to your home turf and beat the shit out of you. I understand going to Notre Dame, getting stomped. You played at Kansas State. You got stomped. You're home. And protect your fucking turf, guys. Alright, so this stinker of the week. Bowling Green. Getting 27.5. Alright, I talk a little longer because I just want to hear that Pink Floyd. These guys are phenomenal. Alright, enough of that. Next play. South Florida. 6.5. They're down 2-5. I gave it out several days ago. South Florida plus 6.5. So if you didn't get it yet, and you're watching this for the first time, and this is the first time you've seen this game, it's now 5. I don't have any systems on this game, but they fit the model of a false favorite, which is the strongest category for the models. When a team is a dog, but the model says they should be favored. So you got that going for them. You look at that bet money screen in the middle there. There's a large imbalance. You see there's 76% of the bets are on BYU, but 68% of the money is on South Florida. That's just massive. And I also copied and pasted the bet signals. See all of these bet signals on South Florida. Tons of them. And so we're going to go ahead and take South Florida. They're down to 5. They're still a play at plus 5. I would grab them at plus 5 also. I got 6.5 earlier in the week. They're now 5. But this play is based strictly on A, the model, which the strongest category is a false favorite, and B, this market, the way the money is coming in on South Florida. They're playing at home against BYU, and so we're going to take South Florida and grab those 6.5 at 5 at this point. So grab the points, and we'll take South Florida, and hopefully these false favorite plays can continue to steamroll ahead, because they've been very, very, very solid all year. All right, I've got a couple of plays based on the models. Iowa State. Now on the model, teams that are favorites have performed better than teams that are dogs. Dogs aren't horrible, but the win percentage for the dogs is much lower than favorites. So when the model points to a favorite, that is a much stronger category than dogs. Iowa State, they opened at 9.5. They're now 10. Also, they're playing at West Virginia. They are a road favorite, but West Virginia, they're 3-12 as the dogs in 2015 also. So that's a little added cherry on top of this play. So we're going to take Iowa State -10, strictly a model play. I don't have a system on them, but the model suggests Iowa State. We're going to take Iowa State. North Texas is down to 3. I posted this also earlier in the week when they were 4.5, several days ago. They're a false favorite, the strongest category. North Texas is now down to 3. They are at, I believe, was it Southern Mississippi? I'm trying to think who they're playing. Let me look real quick. I know I should have this shit written down, but I don't. So pipe down. Give me a minute. North Texas is playing. Yeah, Southern Miss. Game's down to 3. They are the market loves them. They're getting a ton of money in bets, which I don't love, but that line is dropped. The model says that they should be favored, so we're going to go with North Texas. So there's 2 plays based on the models. Iowa State laying 10, North Texas laying 4.5. They're now 3. I would still take the 3. They're getting a field goal. Take them. Baylor -11. I think they were a model play. Also, we are playing against a road dog that just won as a conference dog. And the team they're playing is off of a road conference win. Now, they're playing Texas Tech. We had Texas Tech last week. They were the Florida Pete BIZ combo play. Won easily. 10-point dog. They won by double digits. We're going against them this week. We're taking Baylor. You see the bets there. In addition to the system, which is 21-4, playing against this team, Texas Tech is getting 55% of the bets, 58% of the money, yet the line ticked up a half a point. That's nothing massive. It's nothing earth-shattering, but it is a significant, like I said, a little added bonus to the play when you see that kind of movement, especially off of a game where Texas Tech really looked good last week. Playing Oklahoma State. I think they were they at home? Were they at home last week? I can't recall if they were at home or on the road. I think they may have been at home also. So now they're traveling, playing Baylor. Baylor is laying 11 right now, and we're going to take the Bears. So take Baylor -11. Aggies getting 17. This is the game that Pete and I were talking about last night. We talked the night before I put this out, go over some games. And, you look at Alabama, obviously the gold standard, and it's hard to take Alabama. They haven't covered lately because they've been laying so many points that they just can't quite cover. They're only laying 17 in this game, so you might think, well, shoot, they're only laying 17. Why not take them? We're going to take Texas A&M. I was looking at this game, and Alabama has basically played nobody this year. They played Duke. They played a bunch of teams that are just not very good, and they've just been hammering them. Texas A&M has played a lot tougher series. They played Clemson. They played Auburn. Their defense is really good. They allow 17.8 points a game. Alabama is only... That says A&M 12 points better. Alabama is 12 points better at power rating. So there's a 5-point gap in the power rating and the spread, which suggests that Alabama may be a little overvalued in this game. So yeah, that going for them. That line dropped from 18 down to 17, even though Bama's getting more bets, significantly more. Bama's getting 74% of the bets. 64% of the money. That 26-36 is the A&M number. A&M plays Bama pretty good. They're 4-3 against the spread since 2012. They're 5-2 as a home dog versus top 10 teams since 2009. Jimbo Fisher's getting that program on track. It's the second or third year they're at home. This will be a really, really nice game to watch. Also, this is the afternoon CBS SEC game, 12:30 my time, 3:30 if you're on the East Coast. This is a game. If I'm home and able to watch it, I'm going to watch this game. We're going to take the Aggies getting 17 points. We're going to take them. That defense has played some very good ball. I know Bama's got some of the best playmakers in college football with Jerry Jeudy and the gang, Tua obviously. But this team lost a lot of players from the last year or so, and they are retooling. I know they reload, they don't retool, right? But Texas A&M catching 17 at home. I'm going to take a shot with the Aggies here. I'm going to take Texas A&M. I don't have a system play. This is the game that I was just looking at. Me and Pete were looking at last night with the line drop, with the nice defense A&M has had. They played a pretty good defensive game against Clemson earlier in the year when they went to Clemson and played. They did lose to Auburn, but they have played some good competition, and I'm going to take A&M getting 17 points and hope they can make this a competitive ball game. So let's take the Aggies. Be nice to have some action on that game, the best game of the day, Bama A&M. Be nice to have some action on it also, not playing it just because of that. I like A&M in this spot, catching 17 points. Hawaii, Boise State. I'm going to take the over 59.5. I posted this on Twitter also. It might be up to 60.5 now, but we're playing the over when we have an excellent team. They have a really good win percentage. I think it's like 80 or more, or something like 75, 80% or more win percentage. The last game they covered by a ton, and they're not a road favorite. That would be Boise State. Last week they covered. They played Vegas. I think they covered by 24 or 5 points. That was featured on Van Pelt's Bad Beats spot on Monday night. See, this is hit 20 in a row. 20 times in a row this has gone over. You see that it hasn't had a lot of plays recently. None last year. 1-17, 2-16, 1-15, 4-14. But since 2007, when this does pop up, it's 20-0. I can't overlook that stat. 20-0 to the over in this spot. So we're going to take Hawaii and Boise State to go over. It's at Boise State. I checked the weather. It's only going to be around the low 50s. There's not supposed to be any wind. Hawaii, that offense is really good this year. I think they could put some points up against Boise. Boise, of course, they could put it in the end zone too. I know Hawaii historically at times has struggled going to Boise State, but it's a 7:15 start. The weather should be fine. I look for this game to go over the 59.5. So we're going to take Hawaii, Boise State over 59.5. Hope that Hawaii can get that offense rolling on the road. I think they can. We'll take the over in this game. All right, this is a game I just wanted to put up there. This is not a play. It was almost a play. This was going back to Pete's line movement thing, where I just want to show you a few things. You got Maryland getting a ton of action, 79% of the bets, 73% of the money. But that line drops a point to 3.5. And Purdue has looked like crap this year. They got blown out by Penn State. They don't cover. Their numbers are horrible. You see all of the bet signals, though, are on Purdue. So it's like, well, Jesus, Maryland's getting all the money, all the bets, but the line drops, and all of these signals are on Purdue. And Pete likes him. I think Pete's going to play him. I was really looking hard at Purdue, and I'm like, man, just looking at this bet page, it's almost screaming Purdue. You've got all of those things for Purdue, but this is what bothers me. Purdue allows 33 points a game, Maryland 21.2. So Maryland's got the much better defense. The net rushing is just huge in Maryland's favor. Purdue can't run the ball a lick. They run it for 50 yards a game. They allow 163 damn near. Horrible. Maryland, they run it for 218 at 5 yards a pop. They only allow 114 a game. That's a 216-yard net rushing advantage for Maryland. And looking at the power ratings, Maryland's got a 5-point edge on the power ratings. So I put this up there basically for Pete because we talked about this game and we were really close to playing it. I was really close to playing it, but I can't play Purdue when looking at these stats. The market says Purdue, the numbers say Maryland. And the reason I post this is because it's really a nice game to look at. You have this information, which is just based on the market, and then you really have hard data, which says that the market is nuts. And so this is just something to kind of look at. I'm really curious to see how this game winds up. So we're not playing the game, but I really wanted to post this game and just give you, there's two different sides to look at a game where the data is just staring you in the face, just saying it's either Maryland or nothing. Purdue is garbage. But then the market's saying, man, Purdue is a really good play. So we're going to pass that game, but I'm gonna be very interested to see how that game plays out, just based on the market, because it just makes no sense that Purdue is getting that kind of action based on how they've played and the stats. So we'll check that game out next week and see what happens. All right. The Florida Pete Biz combo play. Florida Pete Biz combo play. South Florida plus 6.5 is down to 5. Ask Pete, what do you want to put up here for the combo play this week? Last week we had Texas Tech, which was a very nice winner. And he says, I really like that South Florida play. We like the way that line moved, all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. South Florida plus 6.5 is going to be that combo play. I want to say South Florida was a model play too. And I'm going to check real quick to see if they were. And yes, I know I should have my shit written down. But, I have a job. I have a life. I got shit I'm doing. Let's see. One second. They're not on that one. And they're not there. No, they're not. They're not a model play. That is just strictly a market play. So I'm going to go with Pete one more time. Last week we were 1-1. If you remember last week, Eastern Michigan took a shit. But the other game that we targeted based on the market was the Army Tulane game, where if Pete didn't alert me to that market, I was all over Army. I was damn near going to make my tune-in play. Army had everything going. We talked about it. They had the powering advantage, they had a rushing advantage, they had a defense advantage, they had a system going for them. I mean, everything pointed to Army. They said, dude, look at this line. All the money, the bets are on one side and the line moves the other way. And so I said, okay, let's pass it. Let's pass Army. And Tulane ended up winning by like 3 scores. So I'm gonna go with Pete. It's this combo play too. It's just not the Biz play. It's Florida Pete Biz combo play. And Pete likes this South Florida game. He likes that line movement. He likes the way that market looks. So we're gonna go with South Florida. Right now it's 5. If you have not played the game yet, grab the 5. If you saw my Twitter earlier, you got the 6.5 or 6, whatever it was. Well done. But we're going to grab South Florida plus 6.5. All right. The playlist. We got 8 games this week. Nice, tidy 8 games. Don't have 20. Don't have 15. Just 8. And I'm going to be real curious to see how my other plays went. A lot of games I passed last week, lost. I had system plays. They crossed with the models. A lot of them lost. So that was a good thing. You might say, well, why is that a good thing? Your system's lost. Because it's nice to see that when a model has one side and the systems are the other, that it's not just an auto fire. Yes, I did have some systems that won when the other side didn't. But it was... it wasn't worth playing all of them. I think it was actually a net loser. This week there's a lot of them. Again, like Michigan was a play. I passed it. Central Carolina, Florida, Tulane, Vegas, San Jose State, Arkansas. A lot of games I passed because I had a system on one side and the model had the other. So when that's the case, I just assume not get involved. And we talked about it last week about poker. The analogy I made was poker, and you don't have to play every hand, and just pick your spots. So these are the 8 spots we have this week. Miami, Florida, tonight. Take that. Moneyline -125. Bowling Green, the stinker of the week. Hold your nose, +27.5. Don't even why. If that game's on anywhere, and I hope to God it's not, I don't know why anybody would want to televise these bums. Just put it on your app and just, at 12:30, just check the final score. Don't torture yourself in watching that. South Florida, the BIZ, Pete, combo play. Getting 6.5, 6, 5, whatever line you got. You take South Florida. Texas A&M, the game of the day. Bama at A&M. Take the Aggies. Getting 17 points at College Station. All them dudes dressed in white. It's kind of a trippy scene there. Iowa State, the Cyclones. Lay the 10. Morgantown against West Virginia. Lay that 10. Take Iowa State. Baylor Bears. We're laying 11 at home against Tech. Tech's getting the bets and money. Line move towards Baylor. We got that nice system play against Tech. We liked them last week. See if they do us right this week by losing. North Texas, 4.5, down to 3. Mean Green, Mason Fine at the helm. I like that kid at quarterback. That's a nice quarterback. North Texas going to Southern Miss, down to 3. I think they win that game outright. And then we got some late night action for you. I think that North Texas game before. We got a 7:15 game for you. Hawaii, Boise State. You need something to watch late in the evening, I got you covered. Over 59.5. I think it's 60 now. 60.5, 59.5 when I put it out there. So we're going to take Hawaii, Boise State over 59.5. And now we do have a best bet. One best bet. The little combo best bet, Biz and Stewie. The Biz Stewie best bet. We're going to take that over. I put 60 down. It's 59.5, 60, whatever. I think when I looked at my sheet, it said 60. I put it on 59.5 on Twitter, whatever the number is. We're going to take that over. I mean, it's a perfect 20-0. So when I see a 20-0, any system that's damn near perfect, I'm probably going to take that as the best bet, especially with that little line tick upwards. I like that. Market says we like that over. The system says we like that over. And we're going to go with our 2-unit best bet this week. Hawaii, Boise State over 59.5, 60, whatever number you get. Fresh over 60. The Biz Stewie best bet for 2 units. Alright guys, there's my contact information. Hit me up. There's the email. Had a nice week of hockey so far. We went 4-0 2 nights ago with a nice puck line winner on the Canucks at +170. They won like 8-2, 8-3, beat the shit out of the Kings. Just a great spot for the Canucks that night. I should have made it like a 29-unit play. They were such a good spot for them. Basketball starts shortly. If you want on it, get a hold of me. College basketball is coming up soon. I let you guys know when videos come out. I let you guys know when I have an early play. Sometimes I'll just put it on Twitter and I'll email it out. Sometimes, not always. Hit me up with that email if you want on my list for hockey and basketball. Last night, I sent out an email right before work, getting ready to go to work. My shit, I just sent an email out, so I sent it out real quick, shut the laptop, go to work. I come home, and I commented about 2 really tough overtime losses to Pete, and says, I didn't get no email. And yeah, I sent it out. No, I didn't see it. I said, well, check your email. Like, dude, it's not here. It's not here. I get a text from Mike up in Michigan, Chippewa Mike. Like, dude, I ain't no email. What the hockey? Like, well, shit, if Mike didn't get it, then I know I didn't send it. I get home, I open up the laptop. It says the email didn't go out. Didn't send, said whatever, just an error message. Which was good because it went 1-3 with 2 ball-busting overtime losses that never should have got to overtime. So you guys that didn't get your email yesterday, you saved some money. So you're welcome. There's my email. There's my Twitter. BizWinners @BizWinners. As you know, I put out the plays. I talk about all the time. Follow me there. Thumbs up, subscribe. You bastards, I only get like 4 or 5 thumbs ups. I can't believe you guys can't hit a button. I see these other schmoes out there with their videos. They got like 90 million thumbs up. And I can't get you guys to hit a button. Hey, you like this shit or not? Hit a thumbs up for Christ's sake. Subscribe. Let you know when a video is out. Spread the word. Let people know, yo, Biz, dude's on it. Check him out. Alright. Just love this beat. Listen, this is a great song. Another one where you roll down the freeway. You put your volume up to 9.5. Make sure you got some nice woofers in your car. Then pump them through the back seat. Yeah, okay. That will do it. Thank you all for hanging out this week with me. Nice card of NCAA football. We had a nice small winning week last week. Right direction. Baby steps. Really like the direction we're going. I really like these week's plays this week. Like I said, I'm really trying to bet these plays and find the games that I really like. Got 8 plays, 1 tonight. Some great action tomorrow. Got a night, got early games for you, got afternoon games for you, got a late key for you. Got the game of the day involved. Nice card. Week 7 of the NCAA football. Conference plays heating up. Let's get some more winners this week. Again, thanks everybody. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate the support. I appreciate everybody that texts me, you email me. My boy Mike up in Michigan, man, you're my #1 guy. I appreciate all the support you give me on the phone, the text, the emails, dude. I really do. Lets me know you guys appreciate the work I put in to do this, and I feel good about this week. So let's have a great weekend. I hope you guys enjoy the football. NFL, I'm going to work on today. I'm going to put that together. I'll probably put that out tomorrow morning. Again, I hope you get it out by noon. I know when I get these videos out a little later in the week, I don't quite get the view counts, but I don't care. If you want it, you'll find it and you'll watch it. I don't give a shit how many people watch it. If you want it, you'll find it. NFL tomorrow morning. We're 5-0 in the NFL. Never had a losing week yet. It's rolling. We're crushing it. Don't want to get too arrogant, too cocky, but we're really doing well in the NFL. Hopefully this week we could continue that NFL streak. All right, guys. Have a great day, a great weekend. Good luck with all your action tomorrow. Look for me tomorrow with that NFL video. As always, we'll let Mark Knopfler and his crew take us out of here. Take care.
Young boys, they're fooling around in the corner. Drunk and dressed in their best brown baggies in their platform soles. They don't give a damn about any trumpet playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. And the Sultans Yeah, the Sultans that play Creole. Creole. And then the man he steps right up to the microphone and says at last, just as the time bell rings, good night, now it's time to go home. Then he makes it fast with one more thing. We are the Sultans. We are the Sultans.